Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to the Artisan of Glimmith. We're working on the inequality area here. I see a 3 through here, let's do this. Oh gosh, I remember some of these. It's like similar kinds of things. I think it was like Gemini and Deltas that we did this with before. Like rows like this, all propagating down and up. Okay, so this time we're doing it with inequality, and that's the only rule we've got. So this has to be bigger than this, so it's more than a 1. Basically, we can always say that for anything that's on the larger end of the greater than sign. So when it's against an edge, it only has one way to go. We know it's growing in that direction. So that absolutely has to be bigger than that as well. Okay. Any others like that? U. Just that for now. So this has to be 2 different things. So you're a 1. And you have to be bigger than U, so at least that. This can't go to there. It could go to 3. Or something. If this goes to 3, this has to be bigger than a 3, but that has to be smaller. It could be a 2, that's fine. So this goes to 3, this has to be a 4. And so that would have to be at least a 5, which it couldn't be. Hold on, if you're a 3, you'd have to be at least a 4. There's no way you're going to there. 4, so this would be a 5, which it couldn't be because it can't join this because that was a 3. That can't go to there because that would make these contradict each other, these 2 inequalities. So you are just a 2, I think, is what we're saying. Is that what we're saying? Something like that. So I think you still can't be a 4 though, right? If you're a 4, you have to be a 5. It's just not happening. Okay, so you're a 3. If this were a 4, this has to be a 5. Again, not happening. So you're not. You're a 1. You're bigger than a 3, so you're a 4. So it's this. That works out, I think. Okay, so then we've got a bigger than a 4 here. There could be a single here. 5. That would be fine. Or it could just go here and be 5. It does mean that this definitely has a greater than 5 on the other side, right? 6 plus? I think? Yes? Yes. And if that's 6 plus, it's definitely not joining that, because if it did, this has to be a 7 plus, and then we end up with a contradiction. So this is a 6, like that, I believe. Makes this a 1. Okay, this is bigger than a 2, but this is smaller than a 6. And this is bigger than a... Okay, hold on. So if we were to put a 5 across there, that would actually work out fine. You're a 6, so you can't be a 6, so you have to be a 5. Could you be a 5 like this, though? Because no, because then that has to be a 2, so you're a 5 like this. Oh. Apparently the puzzle was solved. That came out of nowhere. Sure. All right. 4. Inequality and polyomino. Right. Inequality, polyomino. I guess we can separate shapes that are next to each other. There's only one way you can go, right? Like that. So that means you're bigger than a 4, so you're not that. So you must be that. You must be more than a 1, so you are this shape, so you're there, you're a 1. This has to be bigger than a 4, so it's going to have to keep going. It could go there. That'll be fine. It has to be bigger than a 3. It's not reaching you, though. Okay, maybe that's not where we go next. Anything else around here that I can do fairly easily? This has to be at least a 2. That's fine. How many different ways in can you go? A few-ish. Maybe there is something I can do over here. You have to be greater than 3. But you may join this. However, if you don't join this... no, you could join you. Then you could be a 5. That would be fine. I was going to say you'd have to go this way, then that would be a 4, but it doesn't have to. This has to be bigger than the 1, this has to be bigger than the 1, this has to be bigger than the 1, etc, etc, etc. I think there's a nicer thing to do here that I'm just not seeing. This has to be bigger than that. Is there like no other way you can go actually? I guess there's this, but there's also this. I'll leave a 2 down here, but that's fine, right? Yes. We can have extra regions. And then you could be a 5 like this. If that went left, that'd be a 1. Is that fine? That's probably fine. However, sorry, if that went right, you'd have to be a 1, not left. I think I said left. But then you couldn't fit in any way. So you don't go that way. So you either go down. So how many ways can you fit actually? Only like this and like this, right? If you go this way, this would be bigger than a 4. So 1, 2, 3. Then this has to be bigger than that. Maybe it's doable though. This has to be bigger than the 4 as well, so let's go this way. So if you'd have to go that way, you'd have to go this way then. But then that couldn't be bigger than that. So okay, so that can only go in one way round, I believe. Ooh, there's 2 other ways. There's this. And there's this. Okay. That would mean 3 would have to go this way. This would be bigger than the 4. That would be smaller than the 4. But not that too, but it could be something else. Well, this would have to be a... That could be a 1 and a 2. 2, 1, 1. That's fine. Okay. Is there a quick contradiction this way? It has to be a 1. So it has to be bigger than the 1. Could be the 3. Could not be the 3. There's no quick contradiction this way, is there? You have to be less than a 4, but you could just be a 2, maybe. Is there something obvious I should be doing here? This has to be more than 4. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5. 4, 5. 4, 5. Potentially more. However, I think if this goes here and here, this can no longer fit, and that's not true. Okay. Is there any problem with you going leftwards? You have to be a 3 or higher. No, there's no problem with this. Three across. You'd have to be smaller than 3, so 1 or 2. where to actually make progress here. How many ways can you go? A few, like this. You try and draw them all on. You. Well, I got messy. Oh, and you. Okay, there's a lot. There's fewer for you. You're either this or you are this. I think those are the only two options. But either one seems to work fine. I think. Does that stop you from fitting though? Maybe? Yeah, I can't see a way to fit you if you're like this. This T-shape, right? Won't fit anywhere. I think. Pretty sure. Okay, so you don't do that. So does that leave only one option for you? I think so, which would be this, right? So then it has to be like that. I think is what we're saying. This has to be bigger than 1, so it has to at least go there. It couldn't, no, it could join that still. Okay, could be an upside down T. This has to be smaller than this. Could this join this T? I think not. Yes, it can't, so I guess I can do that. Do we think it's likely anything else is going here except this? If you're just a 1, you have to be at least a 2 just to stick out here. Which I think then means you don't fit anywhere. I think so, so I think you're going there. We might only have one option for you now. I think that might have been true anyway. Is that true? Like from this stage? Yeah, it has to be this, right? I think so. I think. That can't go that way, so let's go this way. So you have to be 2 1s. Is that fine? I think that's fine. Hope that's fine. You're at least a 2. So you definitely go down, so you're that. You've got to be bigger than a 3, so you're a 4. You've got to be smaller than a 3, so you'll do that. We're done. Hooray! Cool. So I just do the one that I point at. I keep not doing that. Ah, definitely not you. Okay, whatever. 4. It's a big one. This has to be bigger than the 1. Therefore, these are separate things. You're a 1. This has to be bigger than a 2, so it's going to be like this. This has to be bigger than a 3, so it's going to take the whole thing. You have to be bigger than a 4, so you're going to do this at least. It might be more. You have to be bigger than that, so this is separate. Same here. Yeah. Can't go here. I have to keep going bigger than at least a 5. But this has to be bigger than that. I should probably write some of these things on. Maybe. Whatever. I can do it in my head for now. This is a 5. This is a 6 at least. So it's going to have to go this way. So you are a 5. You don't go there. So you must go... what have I done wrong? Nothing, because I was going to join that. Okay. Yeah, that's one of those things where I think the error checking seems to be not what I'd expect, but whatever. Okay, so this is bigger than this. That could be a 1 though. There's nothing stopping that. We know this is bigger than a 3, and this is bigger than that, so it's going to have to be at least like this. You're going this way, you can't go that way. Bigger than 3 is going to have to at least go there. You have to keep coming along. You're going to have to go further. But you can't go here because then those two wouldn't make sense. That's the stop, so you're done. Bigger than a 4, bigger than a 5. Could join this. Probably does join that is my guess, but it's a guess, so I won't do it. So you are an 8. So even if you took that, you'd need to go a lot further this way. If you took, oh, now you can't take that, so that is a 1 by itself. You'd have to at least get into here, so that's going to be a 1 by itself as well. This needs to be at least 8. Can't go there, so you're going to be a 1 by yourself. Not necessarily. You might stick out. Because that one is done, or it could keep going and make that a 1. But that might do more than that. Okay. So then this is at least a 9, so this is gonna... doesn't have to take those? That's kind of interesting. Are we leaving gaps in here or not? At the very least, I think it's getting over here, because that's a 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 9, but at least it gets to here. It probably goes further. How is that going to disambiguate? Based on the other inequalities, I guess. Like over here. This space is kind of interesting. So one large space. That's be bigger than the 1. That's be bigger than the 1. Yeah, this space is interesting. There's going to be something going on between this snake path here and then this big room. I think. Maybe we can finish down here first, though. So you're at least a 5, you're at least a 6, which means you're going this way. So you're at least a 7. Okay, let's start writing some of these on. 6 plus. It's just such a small space to write it now. You're at least a 7. You may join this. I think you are going to join this, because if you don't... I mean, that could just stop there. Wait, hold on. This can't go there. So if you're going to get at least 6, you're going down. Okay, so you're joining that one for sure. Okay, so that means this is now an 8 plus. Good job. I mean, it kind of looks like an 8. Let's try it again. 8 plus. You could take this one, or this could take it. It's going to have to go this way, though. I'm not sure about which... Oh, it can't go there. So at least one more. Okay, but then this needs to be bigger than that, so that has to not go that way. So this goes this way. So this could become 8 from here, and then that would be a 7. This is going this way. I've clearly just got to divide the rest of the space up nicely, right? Smaller than this, though, but this is bigger than that, and this is bigger than that, so therefore this can't go here. So this needs to be smaller than 7, or smaller than 8, but bigger than 4. So it's at least this. There might be a single here, but it's going further, right? Bigger than 4, yes. Interesting. What's this doing? This has to be bigger than that, so that has to stop there. Not necessarily on that end. That's definitely not on that end. It has to keep going. Okay, so this is an 8 now, so this has to be at least an 8. Well, at least a 9, sorry. So it's going this way, it can't go there. Since you need to be bigger than 4, you need this and this, you're done. We're saying this has to be at least a 9, so at least 3 more. So not you, you. Okay. Massive region like that. Did not mean to do that. Messed it up, sorry. Okay, I was trying to do that, but using the right-click eraser. Okay, so, this is how this is going to get forced. Got it. So this is 16. 1, 2... Like, at best, there's going to be one space left in here, unfilled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... Oh, in fact, we can't go there as well, because we're going to have to come out this way. So we can't go there, so it's this. 11, we need more than 16. Can't go there. So it's this. Can't go there. Wait, what are you? 16, 15, 16, 17, so that's right, I think so. And then we've got a huge thing here which connects to this thing here, so this is going to be an 18 at least. But then there's also something bigger than an 18 in here. Okay, so how much space do we have in here? I guess is the question. 39. So hold on. So there's at least an 18. And then that would leave us with whatever left. 21. If it were a 19, then we'd have 20 left, which would also work. At the very least, whichever thing this is going to have to hug the edges, right? Is it? Could we have any spares left over? 18. Let's say we were like 18 and 19. Sure. That'd be fine, right? And just have some bonus cells somewhere. Oh, I think I'm seeing the thing here. Like this space in here, allowing these two things to connect, is 20. So the rest is 19, and that's how that works out, right? It's going so badly. Yes, done. Neat. Cool. Next up, this 4. This has to be more than the 1. So these are all going to be bigger than the... Ooh, okay, so it goes all the way along to here. So I mean, you are... Okay, let's write these on. So if, let's say you are a 2+, you're a 3+, you're a 4+, you're a 5+, and you're a 6+. Okay. Similar thing over here. So 2+, 3+, 4+. That seems interesting. 5+, like those two being next to each other. The 4+ here and the 4+ there. 6+. Okay. Now what? I mean, what do these end up adding up to if we just use these? 1, 3, 6, 10, 15, 21. Are those triangle numbers? No, not triangle numbers. What? It's something. Is it triangle numbers? 1 plus 2. Yes, it is. It's triangle numbers. Okay. Anyway, what was it? 21? I think it was 21. And then you're 21 as well for the same reason. So, if, oh, well, unless they join. They might join. Yeah, they will join. Okay. Okay. Now, what? Now what? I guess if they all... I don't know how they connect. I was going to say if they all shift one up, would that be too many? But it depends on how many are shared, ultimately. But it's interesting that this, like, the 2+ is so far away from the 2+ here, and the 6+ is so far away from the 6+ here, they'd have to wrap around to be the same thing. The 4+ is the only exception to that. In fact, the 5+ and the 5+ can't connect, but the 5+ here might be a 6, in which case it connect to that 6. Like, I don't think it's likely to happen, but it could do. What else we got going on? Three plus. Is there any way you're just going down? Yeah, there is some way you could just be going down. You've got to be going in some direction. 4+. You could go up, you could go left, you could go right. However, if you go right, this 5+ would have to take that, which is fine. Yep. I think there is something here about, like, there's no way you're reaching that. There's no way you're reaching that. If we had 2 lots of 21, so that something is being shared, but I'm not sure these can share. Like, you can't get to you. You can't get to you. Oh, that is the whole thing. You can get to you, technically. You can't get to you. I mean, if you did, imagine how big these numbers would have to be. Okay. But it can't be 2 entirely separate groups, so I think the 4 basically has to connect across, is what we're saying there. Yeah. I think that is what we're saying. feels 21 would be 42, but it's 37 in total. Is that what we're saying? I think that's what we're saying. But other things could share though instead, right? But if you share and you become a 5+, then I think we end up with way too much stuff. This would be a 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that's too much, but how do I say that for certain? I guess I also know, hold on, so I can do this. Maybe that's important. That's probably important. Oh, that is important. That means you have to go there. Okay, cool, they're connected, hooray. It's gonna have to go in one of these directions, but I don't know which one. This could just be a 1 here. Now what? That's smaller than that, could be a 1 then. This is at least a 6. You're at least a 5. You're at least a 6. What do I do? I don't know. I think it can't go both that way and that way, because then I think the 3 and the 5 won't fit together. They won't. So it goes one of these two directions. One of them only. If the 4 is shared, we've effectively taken away 4 from the total. So it was 42. So it takes us to 38. It was 37 total. So only... Hold on. Wait, what does that tell us? That tells us that something else has to be shared? No, that can't be true. Can it? Or does it tell us that the 4 plus is actually a 5 plus, but surely that also makes the numbers go bad. What am I saying? We've taken a 4 out of the equation. So we've got 21 plus 21. It was 21, right? 1 plus 2, 3, 6, 10, 15, 21. Okay. We've got 42. We're taking the 4 out of the equation because these are joined. Takes us to 38. So there needs to be 1 less than that. What does that mean? I can't even wrap my head around it. If the only thing that happened then was that you got bigger than a 4, like a 5, it would push every other number up way too much. So something else has to be joined, I think is what we're saying. But then what could be joined that doesn't disrupt everything? There's probably some magic sum that I can do. Oof. Because if I join like a 5 and a 3, I'm effectively taking away a 3, am I not? But then I'm adding on. So if I join a 5 and a 3, I'm taking away 3, but adding on a lot more. So I need to join 2 that let me take away, but not add too much more. That would mean they'd have to be towards the larger end of the inequalities, but I can't. Well, unless the 6 joins, I could believe that. I could really believe that, since it's the only one that really can nicely. Let's imagine that's the case. The shortest distance between the 6s is 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, you need space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. let's say we took away a 4 to get 38. We're also taking away a 6 to get 32, but we're adding on a 5. Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. Okay. I think I've done it. Have I done it? Or are we just jumping ahead right now? I think I've done it. What's the route we take here? So I think that ends there. This is a 3 plus. This has to get here, but not leave any spares. So this is going to have to be part of it, right? It's going to have to be that. So that's an 11. There's going to be a 4. It's going to have to be like this, and this, and this, and this. You're going to be a 1. Uh-oh. Nope. There's something wrong. Of course I have. Wait. What did I do wrong? Did I drag that all the way across there? Oh no, because that can't go there. So this does have to come down. Which maybe I could have figured out before. Hold on. Go before this bit. You have to come down in that case. At least 1? Because you can't go there. I feel like I've messed up. I think my logic wasn't correct. Hold on. Is there anything wrong with this? Oh, there might be nothing wrong with this. Yay, cool. Whew, that was pretty tough actually. I think that was more of a 6? I don't know. 4. I mean, I'm just going to pick whichever one I see first, right? That one. Ooh, it's Palisade, my favorite. It's so much my favorite, I forgot what it was called. Has to go like that. So this has to be at least bigger than a 2. Okay. Is this the same as this? No, because the grey band's on this side here, and the grey band's on this side here. Like this corner and this corner is similar, but not the same. Same for these two inequalities. You have to be bigger than a 2. Sorry, bigger than a 1. You could be a 1. If you went this way, then you go this way. As long as this stays smaller than that, we're fine. That might be better off down here, actually. If you go this way, you go here, you have to be bigger than this. So bigger than a 3, you have to keep going. You just have to keep going to here, which is fine. You have to be smaller than a 5 at this point. That would have to stop there. We could go this way though. Not convinced this is the right approach here. What about thinking about you? Oh, hold on. Isn't there something with this? Not really. So this is going to stick into 3 of these 4 spaces. 1, 2, and 3 of them are part of an inequality. So it can't go there and there, right? Because then that would be bigger than this and it wouldn't be able to. Okay, so I think that's what we're working with. So it goes there and there at least. And it goes to 1 of these 2. If it goes there, then this has to be bigger than a 4, but that might be fine. If it goes here, this has to be smaller than a 5. But then that has to be bigger than a 5, which it couldn't be, so you go there. You don't go there. You don't join. You must be bigger than this at least. Could you join this still? Maybe. This can't join these two, so at least that. So this is going in one of these two directions. This has to be bigger than this. This has to join you. Okay, that's good. Here we go. You have to be bigger than this. You currently are. That's fine. You can't join that. Could you join this? No, because this wouldn't be able to be bigger, so you're done. If you went this way, the biggest... This could be... Hold on. If you went this way, this has to be bigger than a 3. So you join that, but then it's not bigger than this 4 over here. So you go this way. You go up, but you have to be bigger than this, so you go into here. 5 is bigger than 4, we're okay. 4 is bigger than 3, so that has to stop there. This has to be bigger than that. If this goes down, that has to be a 1. That's fine, I think. And then you go this way. Couldn't that just stop there though? Hold on, what's wrong with that just stopping there? Oh, that has to be bigger than that, so that would be 5. That's okay, that does work. Yay, cool. A little bit more. Where are we at? Oh, only 3 more to finish. Maybe we can do it. Maybe we can do it. Oh, that's a 5. Sometimes the 5s are easy though. Let's do a 5. Come on. There we go. Non-boxy. Oh no. Non-boxy inequality. Bigger than, bigger than, bigger than, bigger than, bigger than. Okay. So I mean that means that's split. So you're doing this at least. Also, non-boxy means we know this is going to come out here somewhere. I can see there's like a boxy shape up here that we need to break as well. Okay, so let's also do the whole, like, this is a 1 plus, this is a 2 plus, this is a 3 plus, this is a 4 plus, and this is a 5 plus. Cool. In fact, more specifically, you are a 3 plus, because 1s and 2s are not are boxy, sorry. You're a 4 plus, you're a 5 plus. This might end up just adding up to the total, possibly. 7 plus. What does this add up to? 3, 7, 12, 18, 25. No. This will be 30, won't it? This will be 5 left over. That's fine. If we're getting 5 plus up here, 7 plus here, and 6 plus here, that does seem tricky. Remember, we can't have any boxes left over, so we can't be leaving little 1s anywhere. So this is going to have to come into one of these spaces. It could just be a little 3 though. What am I saying? Don't think I'm currently saying anything. I know you can't stay as just that, but I don't know what you are going to be instead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It can't get to a 7 without leaving a hole in here. So you are not part of that 7. Oh, well, you could be an 8 though. Yeah, okay. That would be fine. Just think about the amount of space you've got, because you can only... You're going to fill at least 5 of these and not leave a hole anywhere. It could be that. It could be... Could it be anything else? Hold on. Well, it could be everything. Is there any other just 5 that would work? I don't think there is, without leaving a hole behind. So those are certain. There may be an extra one. I think. If you were a 6, what would it do to the numbers? What did it add up to? So the whole thing is 30. And this is 3, 7, 12, 18, 25. So there's only 5 left over. If we added 1 to you, we'd be adding 1 to you, we'd be adding 1 to you, but that's fine. I think. Does this have to go into this space? If it... No, it could go like that. Okay. That was easy to disprove. In fact, hold on, it can't go into this space is more the point, right? Whatever I would do, let's say it goes here and here, which would have to get into this space, then anything else no, it's fine. These are 3 over there. Okay, not that. I was going to say you can't be a 4. I think you could, because it would add 1 to each of them. It could be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that would add up to 30, exactly. Oh, maybe that's the idea here, is that if I just do this, I'm left with 5 left over, which would mean either putting a 5 in itself, or a 4 and a 1, which we can't do, a 3 and a 5, sorry, 3 and a 2, which we can't do. So it has to be a 5 itself. Okay, so if we don't increase the size of any of these, the remaining area has to be a 5. Yes, that's the thing we're doing. As if we don't increase any of these, so that would mean this had to be the 5 down here, because this can't join any of the others without extending one of them, which we're saying we're not doing. So this would have to be a 5. But then I don't think the 3 and the 4 can get all this, right? 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No. They can't. So we are bumping up a number, I think. I think we have to be. I think there's actually something we can do with that, right? So because there's kind of 8 spaces here, we can't leave 1 behind, we can't leave 2 behind. So what can we do? Leave 3 behind, which only happens if the 3 never comes this way at all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, okay, so the 3 doesn't go that way. Okay. I think that's the start. So then this 4 has to do something that leaves a 3 behind in here, and I think there might only be one way that's happening, like a non-boxy 3. I think it's that. Okay. And then the 5, 6, and 7 have to fit in here. It does have to be a 5, 6, and 7. What size is this space? 15. Doesn't work. Unless, no, none of them can be the same as each other. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh. Wait, what's that? Can't come down here? That has to go in there, but then the 4 plus doesn't work. But it can be more than the 4. It can be more than the 4. Okay, hold on, let's go back. Keep thinking of these as just being 4s. Yeah, that was silly. Okay. So actually, I think I found a better contradiction there. If this comes down here, these don't fit. So you have to at least go that way. You may go here still. If you stop here, then this 4 can't just be a 4. Could it be a 5? No, because it'll leave 1 behind. It can't be a 6, it'll be boxy, so you have to keep going. I think that's true. Then this can't just be a 4. This could be a 4 though. But then that would be a 5, and that can't be a 5 at that point. So this can't be a 4. So this is a 5. So this is a 6. I'm still concerned that this is wrong. But okay, 6 plus is what we're saying now for you. And then 7 plus. And then 8 plus. What does this end add up to? 3. Oh, well, 3, 5. I guess I should put that on just to make it a bit clearer. 8, 14, 21, 29, one away, but we can't leave one. So one of these is expanding a little bit. So this is definitely joining this 8, isn't it? And we can't leave a 1 behind here. So we're doing this. It can't go here though. Wait, what? Can't go there. Am I wrong about that? Maybe I'm wrong about that. Could there just be a 3 in here? Hold on. No, there's only 1 left over, wasn't there, at the end? I think I've done something wrong again, but I'm not certain. Three, 5, 8, 14, 21, 29. And there's 30 total. So we can't have 1 left over. So one of these is 1 bigger than it is. This is going to have to join the region. It's not joining the 7 or the 6. It's going to be joining the 8 plus. How do I do that without leaving a 1 behind somewhere? I don't. There's either going to be a 1 here or a 1 here. I think I've messed up again. Unless you're a 4? Ah, I think that's what I've missed. Okay. You are a 4. Keep making incorrect assumptions. I think 4, 5, 6. Yeah, and then these add up perfectly, don't they? So you're going to be the 8. Is that 8? Hooray. And then 7. Like this? Yay, finally. Do I really think I'm doing this today? 2 more? Sure, go on, we'll do it. There, there's a 4 there. That's a lot of inequality symbols. Size separation. It kind of feels like it's already going to be size separation just because of all these inequalities. But I guess not. Okay, how do I begin with anything here? How do I begin with anything here? I mean, are there any things where I can say, oh, it's definitely not, it's definitely bigger than a 1? Like here. Cool. So this is definitely bigger than a 2, so a 3, but then that couldn't be a 3. So this has to stop. Because if that were 3, we wouldn't be able to get a 4, yes. So this is at least a 3. Which means this for sure. May go that way. It may go that way. The size and the quality, sorry, the size separation is going to be hard to remember. So this is a 1. So this is another 1. There's a size separation. And this is another 1. So this has to be bigger than that. So that's a 3. So you are just a 2. I think. Am I making mistakes? Maybe. This is smaller than 3. Could be a 1 or a 2. One or a 2. If you're a 2, you can't go that way. You could go that way. If you're a 1, that's also fine. This has to be smaller than a 3 or a 4, so it's up to a 3. Up to a 3. This can't be a 2, it could be a 1. Could be a 3. What can I do? What can I do? Hold on, is there some interesting thing here? Maybe. If this is like this, then this has to be greater than that, but also greater than that. That's fine. Yeah, it's fine. This is because these don't go in the same direction. These can be the same thing. These do all go in the same direction, which means that those have to be separated. Yes. Yes. And that can't be a 1. It has to at least be a 2. This could be a 1. I think it probably is a 1. I'm not certain though. Well, hold on. If you are a 2, then this is at least a 3. This is at least a 4. This is, yeah, it's not going to work. Okay, so you are a 1. Let's say you were a 3 now. That would be a 4. That would be a 5. That is doable only if you can fit at that point. And you. This is at least a 2, maybe a 3. This is at least a 3, maybe a 4. I should write those things down. 2 plus 3 plus. I mean, I could say, okay, I know specifically it's 2 or 3. Not 2/3. Or it's, and this is 3 or 4. Because it can't be bigger than 4, because then the 5 and the next, if this were a 5, the 6 wouldn't fit up here. Okay. And now we do something else. What though? Well, so this is a 3 or 4. This is a 4 or 5. So it has to at least take that. And then at least take one of these. So we are ending up with a 5 or a 6 in one of these spaces. But I think that would be fine. Kinda, maybe. Sorta. What else can we say? Size separation. The size separation feels really weird in this because of all these inequalities, but sure. I mean, I guess it's relevant. I think I've used it so far, but yeah. Did not mean to do that. Let's do this. If we did do this, and this were a 3, then you'd have to be a 4, which you can't be. So you don't go there. Okay, so that's a 1. Okay. And so you're a 3. So you're a 1 or a 2, so you can't join that. So this 3 or 4 must do this, at the least. This has to be bigger than a 1. It could be a 2 and go there. It could be a 3 and go there. This has to be smaller than a 3, so 1 or a 2. Could be either. If you're a 2 though, this has to be a 3 and that is probably fine. It's hard to say. This can't go upwards because then this has to be bigger than a 4 and there's not enough room, so you don't go there. Cool. If you go this way then, there is not room for a 5 over here anymore, so you don't go that way. You're a 4 like that. So you're a 3. Am I doing this right? I think I'm doing this right. I don't know. So this is... Okay, so this is a 2 specifically. Something. Wait, so this is a 5, which can't go there. Why not? Well, if it did go there, we need a 6 in here, which is never going to happen. So it's going here and not there. This 5 can't go into this space either. So it can't go here and it can't go here, which leaves only these remaining, I think. And this has to be a 2. This has to be smaller than this 5. So this is a 1, 2, or a 3. If it's a 2, that's a problem. In fact, it's a problem for multiple reasons. If it's a 1 or a 3, if this is a 1, then this is a 2, which I think is fine currently. If this is a 3, we're also fine. No, because then we'd have size separation broken. So you are a 1 and you're a 2. Is that what we were saying? I think that's what we were saying. And then this is a 1. This is a 2 at that point. Okay. This is bigger than a 3, so it's a 4 like that, and you're a 1. You're smaller than a 4. Could you be a 1? You're bigger than a 1. What am I saying? You're bigger than a 1. This went down, then there has to be a 3 here, so you don't go down. That's a 1 there. Is this just a 4? No, it can't be a 4. Is it just a 2 and a 2? No, is it a 3 and a 1? Yes. Cool. One more? One more. We can do it. Not the 7. What are you? Oh, there's a 3 down there. Okay. Cool. Please actually be a 3. Which they often are not. By my measurements. So this has to be bigger than 1. Cool. But then this has to be different and this has to be the same. So that's interesting. That means there's a 1 and a 3 in here, I guess. There can't be a 3. Huh. Same shape as that. Is shape right? Yes. So this has to be a 2 and 2 1s, of course. We don't have size separation anymore. This can't keep going, because if it did, this can't be the same shape. So yeah, you have to stop there. You can't go that way, so you're like that. This has to be different. It's a 1. This is a 1. Okay, so then you're a 2. I mean, that was true anyway. Okay, so similar kind of situation over here. So this can't keep going. This has to be the same. Can't go that way, so it's that way. You're different, you're a 1 and a 1. This has to be smaller than you, this has to be bigger than you, so this is going this way. This then has to fit, so it has to stop there. Hold on, you're a 1. This is bigger than a 1, and we need a 3 in there, so those are joined. And that can't be the 1 there, so it's like that. There's a 1 here, and I expected that might just be done, but it's not. Smaller than a 2. Smaller than 2, done. Have these all divided up into different ways? Got a 3 and a 1 here, 4 1s, a 2 and 2 1s. Well, I guess what, 2 2s and 2 1s. It's gold! Hooray! We made another window gold. Holy moly, we're getting there, maybe, sort of, kinda. It's gonna take us forever because we've also got to do these. Although I think there's not a huge number of those. Yeah, we've got 5% of that just from doing 11. Yeah, there's way fewer of those. Wait, so how many of those does that mean there are? 200? Yes, ish. Still a lot. But yeah, like that's way more, and that's going to be a fair bit more. Okay. Okay. Alright, I guess that means next time we're moving on to, so we've done you, and you, so this one or this one? Well, we've got difference and loopy. Did we not do some loopy recently? Maybe not, maybe that was a while ago. Okay, difference and loopy. See you then, folks. Goodbye.